And what we were trying to do is take simple shapes like circles, squares, triangles, and we were trying to build our very own cave animals. You did a great job at that. And today we're also going to be talking about shapes, but instead of building cave animals, we're going to be using some scissor skills. Shapes are very important in art, so we're going to practice it in two different ways, drawing and then cutting. The artist I want to introduce you to today is Henri Matisse, and he loved shapes in his artwork and he loved color. Today, let's take a look at what he did. As a young artist, he loved to make paintings of portraits, which are people, drawings of people or paintings of people. He also made landscapes. Landscapes are pictures of the outside, outdoors, of land. And if you look at these two paintings, you can see how much he loved to use color. He used beautiful colors everywhere because he thought it made people happy, and he liked that. Then Matisse got ill, and what happened was he couldn't stand up to paint anymore, and he thought he couldn't make art anymore, and he was very sad about that. But all of a sudden, one day, he got this great idea to be able to use scissors to make artwork. So when he was in his wheelchair or when he was in bed and couldn't paint, what he had his friends do instead is they would take pieces of paper and he would tell them what colors to paint them, like orange or pink or red or blue. And then when the paper was dry, they would drag the paper over to Matisse as he sat in his wheelchair or when he was laying in bed, and he would take his gigantic scissors and cut out all kinds of shapes that made him happy. He didn't call this cutting, though. He loved to call it drawing with scissors, and that also made him happy. When he was done cutting out the shapes, he would tell his assistants, put a shape over here, put a shape over here, and the assistants would glue the shapes down to a bigger sheet of paper, like in this picture. This is me visiting a museum, and this is a collage by Matisse. A collage is when you cut out paper and glue it to other paper. So his assistants would color the paper, Matisse would cut out the shapes, and then Matisse would tell the assistants, glue this here, glue this here, glue that there. And that's called collage, when you glue paper to paper. His collages got to be very, very large. This is one huge white sheet of paper and another one, and you can see how the assistants glued all them down into different arrangements. This is how big it is in real life. That was only half of it that I was showing you. It's very, very large. So large that it wouldn't even fit into Mrs. Samala's classroom. That's how big it is. It would be way, way too tall. But this kind of artwork made him happy because he couldn't paint anymore. Here's another one of his collages. So the assistants painted these big sheets of paper, all different colors, and then he cut them out and arranged, and then he had them be arranged on this sheet of paper. This is called snail. And the first time I looked at it, I thought, snail? That doesn't look anything like a snail. So I had to take a closer look. There are two hidden snails inside of this colorful picture. One of them is in the shape of a spiral, so these blocks are arranged in a spiral going around and around. And the other one is hidden up here. This is supposed to be the head, and this is supposed to be the back, and that is supposed to be the other snail. I'll show you it a little bit more in the next couple of slides. What you're going to be doing today is you're going to be cutting out all different kinds of shapes, geometric shapes and some organic shapes. So geometric shapes are shapes that have names. So let's name them. You go first. This is an oval. This is a crescent. This is a diamond. This is a triangle. This is a circle. This is a rectangle. This is a star. And this is a square. I hope you name them with me. These shapes all have names, and they kind of have rules too. Like a triangle has to have 3 sides. A square has to have 4 sides, and they have to be equal. A rectangle all the sides cannot be equal. So geometric shapes have rules. Organic shapes are kind of wild shapes. They're often blobby, they're curvy, they're really hard to cut out because they're so curvy. And they can kind of look like shapes from nature, like fish or trees or leaves, those kinds of shapes. So they're called organic because they're from nature. So today we're going to start by practicing geometric shapes because they're a little bit easier to cut out. And then we're going to try cutting out some organic shapes. Let's take a look at the last slide. This is all about the snail. So in the next class period, you're going to make your own snail artwork. And I want you to think about how this snail shell is a spiral, and you can kind of see how these blocks connect into this spiral. And then you can see the little snail on top that's hidden inside. Let's watch the next video so you can see what we're going to do today exactly. Thanks for watching, friends. Bye.